Hey everyone, how you doing today? My name's Kirsty, aka Beth Bookish, and love is in the air. Yep, it's that time of year again. February with Valentine's and lovey-dovey stuff and romance. And so I thought I would do a bit of a reading romance vlog because last year I kind of had a bit of a rough year with romance. I read a fair bit, and yet apart from maybe two, they all sort of, I think I had like 2 5-stars that were romance, the rest were all like 3 and 4, with quite a few that I really didn't like. And on my worst books of the year there seemed to be more romance than typical. So I am on a quest to find romance that's going to take my breath away, sweep me off my feet, all of that. I haven't got a set TBR. I've just pulled off a few physical books that I have a strong interest in and feel that I will be able to fit in reading wise between now and, well, I'll probably release this the week after Valentine's, so it's not going to be quite on Valentine's because I already have a video planned for that, but it will be during that week. So I've got 2 weeks, give or take, to get these done, and I'm still adjusting from returning back from Australia, and I'm struggling with the jet lag so badly. Like, it is not even 5:30 in the afternoon. I am filming this and I am going straight to bed because I am so tired. So I've got a little pile of possibilities here, and then I will also possibly be doing books from my Kindle as well. We shall see how I feel. My only criteria for this was had to be contemporary, had to be romance, and an author I've never read because I want to fall back in love with romance. So my little pile here, I've got the Fiancée Farce by Alexandria Bellefleur, which is queer sapphic. The Problem with Perfect by Philip William Stover, which is queer and gay. Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young, which I have been very excited to get to, and I've heard many, many good things about this author. And The Start of Something by Miranda Dickinson, that again I've been quite excited to and just haven't gotten to. I have other books on the shelves behind me, but these were just the ones that I pulled out as like, I think I'm the most interested in. And like I said, I may draw some more possibilities from my Kindle. It'll just depend on what mood I'm in over the next sort of 10 to 12 days. In terms of this one, I think I'm going to start with the one that's been on my TBR the longest of this stack, and that is The Start of Something by Miranda Dickinson. He was in the army, gone into a car accident, is now discharged from the army. The only thing he has for company is his cat and dog, which also is great because I'm also taking part in the Cat Lady Readathon this month, and it features a cat. So that will fit in perfectly for that readathon too. So he's got a rescue dog and a cat for company, and he's just kind of like a bit of a recluse. And then someone moves into the apartment next door, and it is a woman and her son, and basically they start writing notes to each other and more stuff blossoms. So I am hoping this one's going to go well. This is what I'm going to start with, and we shall see what I think. And hopefully one of these books will make me find a new romance author that maybe I will love, because I am sick of being disappointed by romance. I apologise, I'm being quiet. It is 6 AM, but editing Kirsty will up the volume of this, so if it sounds like I'm being quiet, it's because I am. I have decided to DNF The Start of Something. It's not that it's badly written, it's not that it's a bad book by any means, it's just I'm 60 pages in and I genuinely just don't really care about any of the characters. The only thing that's really kept me reading, not even the cute kid is keeping me wanting to read, it's more the dog and cat. So I'm DNFing this one. I didn't like the male point of view. I understand he's gone through a trauma, I understand that it's a life-changing injury, but I saw my mum go through a life-changing injury with her leg and she had the same attitude as him, which was my life is ruined, and is gonna just spend the rest of their life bitching and complaining rather than actively trying to do something to improve their status. Like, my mum would sit there and be like screaming about how much she wished she could walk, yet hadn't put on her prosthetic leg in 6 months. And it was like, well, the only person stopping you is you. And this guy kind of has that attitude that have a little bit of self-pity, but this guy is his entire personality, and for 60 pages all we have had from him is just, oh, woe is me, my life is over. And I was like, I can't be dealing with this. So I liked her point of view, I just did not like his, and I wanted to sympathise with him because he'd gone through this trauma and had this pain and couldn't walk, but the way he went about it, I had no sympathy for him. I just wanted to slap him and tell him to get the fuck over it, which isn't normally an attitude I have. So yeah, I have decided this morning, I was like reaching for it and I was like, do I actually really want to be reading this, or do I want to try something else? So I decided I've DNF'd this one and I picked up the Fiancée Farce. I am the first chapter in. I have already laughed out loud and I have already smiled multiple times in one chapter. I think this one's going to be on for a winner for me, so I'm going to keep reading this one. So this one is a fake dating. Tansy runs a bookstore and she's kind of not really had best luck with dating, has been telling her family for 6 months that she's dating this person called Gemma. Turns out that the Gemma in question is actually, well, she thought it was just the cover model for a series of books that she knows. However, it turns out that she is actually the heiress to a big publishing house, and the only way that she can inherit this publishing house is if she's married. So when she attends her cousin's wedding, which is also a family wedding for Tansy, Tansy's stepsister is like, hey, isn't that your girlfriend? Gemma finds out and immediately goes, well, yeah, we're dating. Not only that, but she's just agreed to marry me. So it's gonna be good. I am 50% of the way, no I'm not, I'm almost 50% through. I'm on page 134 of the Fiancée Farce and I am having a great time with this. I didn't think I would, I wasn't sure if I was going to, but oh my god, I really am having a fabulous time. I am loving how Tansy and Gemma are like being really honest with each other. They're entering in this agreement, but they obviously have a spark there, but also the fact that they are openly communicating. And they've both said, we will have no lies or anything hidden between us. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to hide things from each other. We're going to be open with each other. We're going to be honest and we're not going to have any secrets. And they've held up to that so far. I like how with Gemma, we're starting to understand why her grandfather chose her to be the heiress of the company. We're also seeing more from her in terms of her insecurities and the fact that she just desperately wants to prove herself, but she's put up this front for so long that people just can't see past who she's always been and acted. And then with Tansy, we find out that there's some stuff that she's gone through in the past that have made her very closed off. And it's just been very refreshing having this open and honest conversation. And I love how up until now, yeah, they're attracted to each other, but there's been no kind of like overly overt sexual stuff. It's just been very sweet and gentle so far, with a little bit of emotional stuff in here. And I am actually having a good time. I don't know if it's a 5-star yet, but it's definitely in the 4-star range right now, which is fantastic. And, you know, the whole point of this vlog is reading romance and trying to fall back in love with contemporary romance. Maybe I just need to stop reading hetero romance so much, but we shall see, because I still have a couple of hetero stuff in this vlog. But right now, having a great time, really enjoying it. And basically this morning I woke up and the first thing I wanted to do was read. I'm playing The Sims right now, and it's like anytime I set my sim off on a task, I pick up my book and read while she's doing that. And yeah, I'm having a great time with it so far, so let's hope that this continues. I am happy to report that we have a success for this project. I have given the Fiancée Farce 4.5 stars. I wanted to check in a little bit earlier, but honestly I forgot. I was just having such a good time. But I've tabbed a few things in this. There were some quotes. One that was kind of like a reminder in general that I feel like I need to put in my quote book, which was, failing does not make you a failure. Oof. Do I sometimes need to be reminded of that? Because I feel like a failure quite a lot. All the cast of characters were great. The banter was witty. Do I feel like the end was a little bit corny and cliche? Yes, but you expect that with romance. The only thing I really did not like about this is I felt that certain characters in this needed to come down a peg or 5 and only came down like half a peg. And I felt like the big victory at the end, particularly revolving around like the major antagonist in this, I feel like it just wasn't enough. And like we had like a little epilogue, and again, I just felt certain things were glazed over too much, and the people who I really wanted to revel in their misery, we kind of didn't get anything. So that's why I've not given it quite 5 stars. But the chemistry between these two characters was great. I loved Tansy. Normally it seems like the love interest is the one that gets all of the personality in these kind of books. It's the one that we're supposed to be behind and the one that we want to be in the relationship with our main character, and then the main character quite often is left a little bit lacking. But in this, I really loved both of their characters. I preferred Tansy. I love how when you expect her to be quiet and submissive and fall back in on herself, that's when she steps up. And it was so refreshing. Gemma was uniquely flawed, and she was kind of the two, she was a little bit more bland, but she was still great, and I still loved her story and the way that she develops with romance. And we learned that, you know, the reason she is the way she is because of all of the infidelity around her, and she's never really seen what a good relationship is, only seen what a relationship shouldn't be. And so that's given her a bit of insecurity, and I just love the way the pair of them work together. I love their banter, I love their chemistry. I also really loved in this how obviously both of them know about books and reading. One of them owns a bookstore, the other one works in newspaper publishing, but she also worked as a model for romance, cover model for romance books. And I love how hyper aware they were of things, where it was like they talk about, oh, this is a marriage of convenience. And there was a bit here that I loved where it was like, look at us doing sapphic stereotypes proud, moving in together after less than 2 months. I found that really amusing. And then I was like, I'm thinking whoever coined the term marriage of convenience did not have to bubble wrap this much Baccarat crystal, because let me tell you, it is anything but convenient. And again, it was just kind of like almost picking fun at itself for being a book about this, and having a play with that topic. And I loved it when that they were bringing tropes in. And in the book, they were like, oh, we are just such a cliche and we are these tropes. And I loved that as a bookish reader and a bookish person. So yeah, I did have a fantastic time with this. I now will get this in the other cover, because this is just such an awful cover. It's bland. It's boring. The colours are just kind of there's nothing special about this. So I'm going to look at getting the pink cover, the one with like the 2 women in the dresses, because that just looks so pretty. So with the Fiancée Farce being a 4.5, I could technically end this vlog, because I said I wanted to read romance until I fell in love again with romance. But do you know what? I think as a scientist, because yes, I am a scientist at heart, we do believe in repetition, and you can't say an experiment is successful when you have 1 failure and 1 success. You need to have 3 repeats. So this was just the first test. I have picked up my second book, and that is The Last Library by Freya Sampson. We've got June, who is a librarian. Her mum passed away and she was like the beloved librarian, and so June has tried to step into her shoes, only she's much more shy, much more quiet, much more unsure of herself. And then she discovers that the library is about to close, and so she decides to try and save it with the help of the local community and maybe it just says here, opening her heart to friendship, opportunities, and maybe even more. So I'm looking forward to that. And also it has a cat on the cover, and her cat is called Alan Bennett. Great, because for the Cat Lady Readathon, I'm not doing a separate vlog for it, but I am taking part in it this year, and it's very casual this year. There's no set prompts, it's just read books that have cats. So the Fiancée Farce, she had 2 cats, so I can count that. And The Last Library, it seems like her cat is going to be quite a pivotal thing, and she's going to talk to the cat a lot. So not perpetuating the rumour of crazy cat ladies in any way, shape or form. But I'm looking forward to this one. I've read the first chapter. It's so far so good. It had a couple of interesting bits where it's saying about she likes to come up with people's backstories that visit the library. So it was like here, today she'd chosen a middle-aged lady lady who took out 2 Danielle Steele novels and The Rough Guide to Iceland. After some consideration, June decided that the woman was trapped in a loveless marriage, perhaps with a boorish, aggressive husband. She was planning to run away to Reykjavik, where she'd fall in love with a rugged, bearded local, but just as she thought she'd found true happiness, her husband would track her down and announce... And then it cuts off with, well, that was a pile of shit from another customer who's returning a book. And it just made me snort. I love that idea of coming up with backstories, because I've done it before myself. When I look at people out and about, I people watch and I think, oh, what brought them here? Who are they? What are they doing? And then it was just fun to see this person doing it as well. And then just the humour of that like injection. I think this one's going to be a good one, but we shall see. In my head, I've kind of got... I started off with a straight romance and then I went with a queer romance. So I thought straight, and then the other books I've picked out go queer, straight, queer. Will I get to all of them? We shall see, but at the moment that is the plan. Let's see where this one sits, and are we going to be one step closer to loving romance or one step closer to giving up on it because it's just not doing it anymore for me? Or could it even just be that queer romance is what I need to read more? Let's find out. Hi! I have a reading update for The Last Library. I'm on I'm about a third through. I'm on chapter 14, page 126. And I have very mixed feelings about this one. I am quite liking the male lead. He's not been in it a lot, but I am enjoying the romance and the love interest. Some of the characters in the library, some of like the visitors of the library, are fantastic. Others, not so. And the main character, June, I am aware there are people out there that are like this, that are really cripplingly shy. They don't speak out, they don't speak up. But there's little things like she's afraid to even put her hand up to ask a question, and she just has absolutely no backbone, and she's also just so scared of everything. Like, her mum died 8 years ago and she has done nothing. Like she was saying, all of her mum's clothes are still there, her books are there, everything's exactly as it was when her mum died. And the neighbour is like, you know, it's your house now, you can make it your own space, maybe have a clear out of some of your mum's things. And she just immediately was like, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to let go of my mum. And she's just so scared of everything. And it's like, I understand where she's coming from with her mum, in that she was due to go to university. She got a place at Cambridge and she had dreams and plans. And then when her mum got sick, she put those on hold. And when her mum died 2 years later, she was like, by that point, I felt the world was too scary. So I just chose to stay because I had my job at the library and I now had my mum's house to take care of. And I was like, that's just, like, I don't know. I know there are people who are like that, but it's not necessarily a main character I want to read. And she is so timid and scared of everything. It almost feels like she's not the main character. We have been shown that she does go above and beyond to support people, and she does help people, and she is lovely. But I just feel like her internal monologue is so wrapped up in how pathetic and this is her own thought. She's like, I'm weak, I'm pathetic, I'm too timid, I'm too shy, I'm too scared. And we're so wrapped up in all of that it's making me not really like her, want to support her, even though the other characters are telling us the library wouldn't function without you. You're the glue that keeps us together. Who else would spend 2 hours helping someone find the perfect book or log me into the system every single day, or, you know? And I'm like, that's great that we're being told she's like that, but we're not really seeing that side of her. We've had a tiny glimmer of her maybe starting to be a bit braver, where she has overheard a conversation after the library has been threatened to be shut down. She's overheard a conversation from I think he's like the local mayor or councillor or something, where it sounds like maybe he's not going to try and help the library and that he's in cavorts to get rid of it. And so she has been told that as a member of the library, therefore a member of the council, she is not allowed to do anything that shows that she is speaking out against the library closure. Even though she's like, well, that's my job, I should be allowed to protest against losing my job and fight for it. But she's been told basically, if you are shown to do that, you will lose your job. She can see that the group that's formed to save the library is very disorganized, and she's like, you could be doing this, 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 and this, but obviously she can't get involved, so she's kind of sat on the sidelines. She can't tell anyone that she's been told she's not allowed to get involved either, so they all kind of are starting to turn against her and are being quite mean to her because they see that they think she just doesn't care when she probably cares the most. And so we did see a little glimpse where she's now signed up to Twitter and as an anonymous user to message them about what she overheard, and is now kind of feeding any information she finds to them under this pseudonym, which is great. But I'm like, I want to see more of that. Obviously, I don't expect her to completely change her character, but I would like to see her grow a little bit. So yeah, I'm hoping we're going to get a little bit more. And again, with the relationship in this, it's a guy that she knew in high school. They weren't like friends in high school, they just knew of each other. But he said a few things about her where it's very clear that he had an interest in her. And now that he's back for a few months, he's very interested right now. Only she's kind of got into her head that how can he be interested in me when he went to university, he's lived a good life, he's travelled, he's a solicitor, he's got friends, he lives in London, he's so worldly, and I'm just this weak, pathetic little thing that's been too scared to go further than a few miles down the road. And I'm like, okay, because just because you've not done all of that doesn't mean that you are not worthy of his attention. And I really hate that that's kind of how it's being portrayed, but they are really cute together. When she gets over that and just talks to him, it's really cute. And the way they're talking about books and the way that she's introducing him to new genres and he's introducing her to his favourite genre, it's so cute and wholesome and I'm loving it, but we're not getting enough. So yeah, I'm, like I said, very mixed feelings because there's some bits I'm really enjoying and I'm very interested in the fight for the library, but I'm also really conflicted because of the kind of weak character, and it's just, yeah. So obviously I've still got 2/3 of the book to go. We shall see how it goes. But the fact that I've spoken for nearly, I don't know how long it'll be when I edit, but by the minute of filming, 8 minutes of me talking about the book already shows how conflicted I am. But, you know, I am having a good time overall, which is why I'm not planning on DNFing. I am invested. I want to know what's going to happen. And I know that, you know, I've thought about my previous book that I DNF'd, Start of Something. And I genuinely just do, when I think on it, I'm like, I still just do not care about those characters. Whereas with this one, I can tell if I was to DNF, I would be thinking about it and I'd be like, well, what's going to happen here and what's going to happen there? So I will be continuing, and hopefully this rest of the book will bump it up to like a 4 or more stars for me. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going, and I probably won't check in now until I finished it. But it's a very quick and easy read. I've read the first like 120 pages in about an hour total reading. Don't know if I'll get it done today. If I don't, like, I've still got over a week before I need to get this vlog finished. So if I don't finish it today, I should finish it tomorrow and then I can move on to the next one. But I'm not going to rush. But yeah, I'm going to go because I'm waffling. Catch you in the next update. Okay, first of all, it's like 8 AM. I've just washed my hair. We've got someone coming any minute now, like any time between now and the next hour. So I just kind of threw my hair up. I haven't had time to deal with anything. I apologise. Also, for some reason today, I've woken up very kind of hoarse and croaky. So I've recorded another clip for something else and there's been a couple of voice breaks and a couple of cracks. Don't know what's going on there. But on the plus side, I have managed to go 2 whole days without having to take painkillers, and that for me is unprecedented. I genuinely cannot remember in the last 10 years the last time I managed to go an entire 48 hours with no painkillers of any kind. I've had pain. Don't get me wrong, I have had pain, but I've been able to manage it without resorting to pills. But anyway, all of that aside, update for The Last Library. I'm now halfway through it. I've only read about 30 more pages since the last update. I'm not DNFing. I'm actually inspired by Ren's latest vlog for doing this, where they've been reading some monster smut based off of their horoscope and star signs. So go check that out. But one thing that Ren did with, at least with one of the books, one of the things that Ren said is, I will read this book, it's just I'm not going to get it done for this vlog. And that's what I'm doing with this one, because the romance, we're halfway through, and apart from one tiny little hint, there's not really, it's definitely not the romance focus, which I kind of thought it wouldn't be. I did feel like this was going to be more based on the library and the community, but I didn't expect the romance to be such a tiny portion. I would say right now the romance has been about 10% of the book, which isn't a bad thing. I don't mind that. I like books where there's not a heavy romance. But for this vlog, it's not ideal. So whilst I am enjoying this, and I definitely think it's going to get a 4, maybe a 4.5, I am going to put it aside just for the rest of this week so that I can move on to the next book for the specific romance. And I'm doing what I said. I'm going back to Queer, and I have the next book right here with me. I've had it for a while. So we're moving on to The Problem with Perfect by Philip William Stover. I picked this up very randomly at the Works last year for £1 because it was in the sale section. I saw the cover and I was like, ooh, that's interesting. I also kind of looked at it and was like, that would be great for cover challenges because we've got a camera, we've got illustrated cover, we've got glasses on the cover, we've got a watch or jewellery on the cover, we've got buildings, multiple colours. I was just like, that's a really, really good one for cover challenges and will probably cover me for a bunch. So this one is when LGBTQ style icon Chase Miles goes missing before the live Pride broadcast for his hit TV show, producer Ethan Wells' career hangs in the balance. Ethan tracks down Chase's estranged twin brother, Beau, to pass him off as Chase for a week, but finds a hairy, rugged mountain man, the complete opposite of his brother. Can Ethan transform Beau into Chase, fool his bosses, and save his job? And when Beau turns out to be caring, romantic, and everything that his twin is not, does he really want Chase back anyway? And it says here from fans of Casey McQuiston, Boyfriend Material, and Beth O'Leary. Boyfriend Material was in my top 3 books of 2023. Beth O'Leary, I've had mixed reactions, but typically on the romance side, I've enjoyed her books, especially The Flat Share. And Casey McQuiston, both of her books that I've read so far have got 5 out of 5 stars. We ignore the DNF because that was a YA teen thing that I just don't enjoy reading anyway, but both the adult books I've read. So if it's saying that it's for fans of these, I am very, very highly anticipating this one. I guess I better get started. Hey everyone. So I have an update for this vlog, and it's not an update I wanted to have to make. It's not an update that I expected for a little bit yet. I thought there was still going to be a few more weeks, but unfortunately it's come a bit sooner than expected. Long story short, I will not be doing any more reading for this vlog. I'm not in a reading mood. I kind of just want to play video games and distract myself right now, and reading's just not doing it, especially reading happy novels. For those new to the channel, my partner is Australian and I just recently spent 3 months out there with them, and they have a dog called Chopper who has gone through a lot in the last 2 years. And while I was out there, he had a visit to the vet. The vet said that he had 1 to 2 months. Unfortunately, I got the news today that that 1 to 2 months is actually 1 to 2 weeks, and by the time you guys see this, he will have passed on. As you can probably imagine, my heart is breaking for Ren. My heart is breaking because he's a gorgeous boy. When I left, I said to him, you know, you're the best boy. You know, I fell in love with him. He's a gorgeous boy. His snoring and his farts were atrocious. But outside of that, he was the most, no, he is, because he is still here right now. He is the most beautiful boy. It's hard being so far away. Even if I was there, I know there's not a lot I can do. Ren is someone who internalizes a lot with their grief and things like that. So I know that even if I was there, the most I could do was just, you know, feed them. But it's just hard knowing that the family are going to be going through all that, and I'm just over here not really able to do anything. He's a great boy, he is a great dog, and just right now the idea of releasing this happy video that's full of joy and reading about these romances, I tried to pick up my book today and I just was like, I can't read this, and I know that my rating would be impacted because I'm just thinking about how upset everyone is back in Australia. So I am so sorry to end this on such a depressing note, but you know, I can't not acknowledge him. I can't not acknowledge what's going on, and you guys know with any video I release, I keep it real. I don't only show you the good things, I talk through everything. I talk about health, I talk about mental health, I talk about grief. And this is one of those things that naturally, and it's probably going to affect my mood for a couple of weeks. So I probably will still try to read. I just don't know what books I'm going to read right now. But certainly for when this vlog needs to come out, or when I want to get this vlog out, I'm probably going to delay it a few days now because it was meant to come out on the 15th, but I think I'm going to push it a week. And I had another video due out today for Valentine's Day that is me and Ren playing a game, and again I just felt it wasn't the right day, and so again I will push that a little bit. And honestly, I did start trying to edit it this morning and Chopper's in it, and I was just like, emotions cannot deal with that right now. I will say the vlog has made me realise that I do still enjoy contemporary romance. I just prefer queer romance over non-queer, and I think that that's something I need to focus on, is when I read romance, I need to stop falling for hype of certain books and instead follow more queer authors and more queer like booktube content creators like Ren. Please do, whether it's support over Chopper or just support in general, they are an amazing person, so please do go and support them in any way you can. I'm really, really sorry. I'm not sorry that I'm telling you this. I'm sorry that, you know, the vlog hasn't ended the way it should have. But at the end of the day, like I said, I keep things real on this channel, and the reality is right now I am in need of things like my games rather than books, because I need to do what I do when I'm grieving. I need to put my music in on a game and just sink into that for a few days and let my body do what it needs to do to process. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. I hope you're good. I hope you're all staying safe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.